Shane Mitchell, Senior AE at Revolut. Welcome to ABM Answered.
Thanks, mate.
So, Shane, before we jump in to some of the questions that we have today, it'd be good, within reason. Obviously, this is more about you than Revolut as such. So it's kind of like your opinions, your views. But it'd be good to get some context on you of, how you've ended up at Revolut. Bit of background, because I always find you always get different answers, right? Depending on people's point of view, how they've seen the world, what jobs they've come up from. Yeah, give a bit of intro. That'd be great.
No worries. Yeah. So just to reiterate, it's very much personal views and not on behalf of Revolut. But yeah, so myself, so obviously went through school like normal, just dropped out before A levels, decided to sort of take a traveling path, you could say, sort of done Spain, done Asia, done Australia, Bali, etc. And then when I
Nice.
come back, obviously was absolutely skint and just thought I'd get into sales. I worked for a publication house selling advertisement. So just
Mhm.
really done 5 years there. So very much the hard sell, and then took voluntarily redundancy when COVID hit and thought it was the perfect time to go to London to join a tech firm. So I sort of
The big
applied for
smoke.
everything. Yeah, got my foot in the door, and sort of went from there. I joined an event technology company called Glisser. I went from SDR to senior SDR to AE, just followed the normal path. And then Revolut come sort of hunting in my inbox. So I actually rejected Revolut at first, you wouldn't believe, because I wanted to stay at Glisser. I don't really like change, you could say, but then obviously with what happened with Glisser, I went back with my tail between my legs. So yeah, and then now I started as a junior AE in SMB, and I'm now senior mid market. So progressing nicely.
Nice, man. You've been through the motions, and also fair play to you. Like commitment and sticking with a company, I think, is becoming a rarer commodity, right? So kudos to you.
Everybody tries the 2 year thing, don't they? Stay there 2 years and then just keep moving on.
For sure, man. But I mean, Revolut is an absolute rocket ship, so I think you've definitely landed a good one, right? Shane, so what we're going to do is we've pulled together some community questions. Obviously, I've done a bit of pre-prep based on kind of the context and the pre-conversations we've had before. But challenge one, and I think every rep struggles with it. Not even every rep. I struggle with this as a founder as well. But like, you've been pretty consistent with your scorings in your sales roles. Do you know what? I'm going to make this about me. What a narcissist. But like sometimes I have a really good quarter and then like I drop off and I think it's like, oh, I've done my job. And then, I take it easy the next quarter. And then you kind of, what it's like, up and down, which is never good for business. Do you have kind of a system in place or like anything that's helped you build like consistency? Or is it just like sheer willpower every quarter?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, you could call it lucky. We create our own luck in sales as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's certainly down to hard work as well. But I think I'm quite fortunate that one, like I'm at Revolut, like the brand sells itself now. So it's a very easy sell. But two, I'm just left to my own prevail or my own accord. What I put in is what I get out. And we're targeted quarterly. So you've got 3 months to sort yourself out really. So if you're having a poor start, you know what you need to do. But I don't know, really. I've very much got an addictive personality, and I always like winning. So I always just, if I'm sort of not building a streak, so I think I'm up to like 12 quarters now. And if I lose it, I'll just be fuming. So it's sort of just the grit to keep that going.
Nice.
And yeah, I suppose just wanting to be up the top, or at least consistently up the top.
This is it's good advice for hiring managers, to be honest. Look for reps with addictive personalities, because technically I am the same. Maybe I'm just
It's not always positive, I can tell you that.
Oh man. Okay, cool. And then do you find like you're consistent throughout the quarter? I think I used this term last time because my friend used it and I loved it, which is like throw the dynamite in, Q4's coming. But like, are you consistent throughout the quarter, or is it more like, oh, the final week, hammer?
Do you know what? I always like to be ahead. I'm very much an anxious salesman. So I
Right.
honestly usually enter quarters with like the quarter done. So like we've just started Q2 and like my estimates like way above 100%. I think I've only had one quarter I've been at Revolut where I've started with like less than 100% estimate. So I don't sandbag, let's say, but you play it tactically, right?
Yeah.
I think the consistent things though is that I prospect all the time. I'm always prospecting. I always do Mondays, Tuesdays, new outreach on LinkedIn. I'm always prospecting. So you're always closing, but you're always refilling as well. And I think a lot of people just get comfortable, let's say, and just don't think they need to prospect anymore. Where, yeah,
Muck into it, yeah.
I just never. I'm always prospecting, to be honest. So I think that's always put me in good stead.
Nice. What? And I don't want to drag on this question, but I am genuinely curious because obviously I struggle with it. Are you like, do you hit, is it like, right, I'm going to block 2 hours out a day, Monday, Tuesdays? Is it like I'm going to hit 20, 30 people a day? What is it?
I'd love to tell you what it is.
Oh,
I'm very much ADHD, so as soon as I get a brain spurt or like a drive, I
right.
switch it out. Then I'll always on a Monday or Tuesday, I'll always just, as soon as I find energy, I'll just use all of my time for it then. And
Nice.
then it's just sort of playing smart. And I mean, I'm always working. If I'm speaking to people when I'm out, if I find out they're in a high job at a high firm, I'm closing them even if we're in the pub. So I'm always on a work sort of mind basis. But yeah.
Nice, man. Who needs work-life balance? But yeah, also eat the frog first, I think is the phrase, right? You do the hardest job first.
Yeah.
Cool. Challenge 2, segment shift. So you mentioned you've gone from the motions from SDR through SMB up into mid-market now. Completely different game. And I imagine like enterprise is a completely step up from that as well. What do you think the hardest thing, or like, have you had to unlearn anything during that phase?
That's a good question. I've been quite lucky. So in my work or my career, let's say, I've had 3 roles. My first role was very, very transactional to SMB. My second role was very mid-market to enterprise. And like at Revolut, I started at SMB and then I've gone back to mid-market to enterprise. So I basically just zigzagged. I think the hardest thing is just, now we're in mid-market, is obviously deals aren't going to close as quick, so stop trying to be as transactional and obviously just get the most out of each deal instead of just trying to get deals over the line. So it's sort of not closing when you get an easy close. I mean, you've always got the close. It's more making the most out of the accounts over the time that you've got them instead of just getting them over the line.
That's fair enough. And it also ties nicely into the next question, which, well, maybe you're doing my job for me, but like when it comes to the actual outreach, like how do you open those conversations? So I imagine, yeah, because when we spoke before, it's SMBs, it's almost like close either on the phone or in a couple of days. Mid-market, you typically, I'm going to make assumptions here. Don't know what yours is, or if you can say, but like 30 to 90 days, maybe 6 months at the high end. How does that conversation differ? Walk us through how kind of like you actually start these conversations.
Honestly, I'm very much the same.
Yeah.
I think I've done quite well now. So I got really good advice when I was at Glisser, and I'll give you this advice actually. So I was prospecting the FTSE list,
Mm.
and I cold called this guy. We had a great chat, and he booked a meeting, and I joined it like with my boss. I was the SDR, so obviously I've joined it with him. And when I joined the call, obviously I just completely changed. Like I didn't really know how to be myself in the initial sales world. When you have something to prove, you sort of
Right.
just living up to what the managers want you to be. So we did the call, and he called me straight after, and he was basically like, what was that all about? And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, I joined the call. Because I got on really well with you. Like I wanted to work with you. Like you basically just Jekyll and Hyde me. So he was just always be yourself. So I always reach out on a personal basis, let's say, like shared interests, mutual connections, things like that. So I closed one of my biggest deals reaching out on the back of Oasis tickets at Ticketmaster. So if you've got common ground and you've got sort of mutual shared interests, you're always going to have an in for a conversation.
Nice. So just being completely natural. You're not rocking up in a
Yeah.
tight suit with a big PowerPoint presentation to offload on them, building rapport. I
No,
think that's becoming more important now as well. Like more than, I think it's almost going to be like the only thing left when like AI kind of like takes over the automation and stuff.
you're your greatest superpower is what he said to me. He was like, always be yourself. You're your best superpower.
Oh, man, that's quite nice advice there.
But
I
since
think
then, I've just gone upwards, so I can't really moan at him.
nice. I mean, I can't, yeah, I don't want to throw him under the bus, but I once had a boss who was an ex-investment banker, and yeah, he was much more rigid and stern with me, and I was kind of almost scared to be myself. He was a great guy, phenomenal. I actually get on with him really well, but yeah, I think in the early parts of your career, that is
Yeah.
probably really decent advice. Right, challenge 4: pipeline prioritization. Big pipeline, limited time. How do you decide which deal, wow, this is kind of like thinking about this, like my therapy at the moment. You're answering all the questions I need answers to. But like, how do you decide which deals get your energy and which ones you drop? And before that, and again, I don't know if you can share it. So if not, no worries. Some companies obviously get given an account list of like, hey, here's 2,000 numbers to dial, and you've got to segment that. Or is it a case of you're managing all of your own outreach and
Yeah. So one of
big?
our 5 core values is basically just get it done. And so we don't have a list.
Nice.
As long as you're hitting your number, you're left to it really.
Cool.
We do the full 360, and we just cold outreach. Like you're fully running it yourself. As long as sort of that company isn't being managed or looked after by somebody else, like it's full reign to go after it as long as it's within your jurisdiction. So in relation to the question, big pipeline, limited time, I suppose it's just really the easy answers, isn't it? It's value, ETA of like when it's going to close, like your relationship with them, potential areas for growth. If they're part of a larger group and you can go into multiple companies, like sort of always look for these things. But it's also like timings as well, right? If you're towards the end of the quarter and you've got a little one that you think will get you over target, that's going to be a lot quicker, you're going to give that all of your energy to the last week, whereas something that's going to take a few more weeks. So there's a lot of different factors that come into that answer. But yeah, I suppose it's just those particular areas that I'd look at.
Cool. So it's very much back to the human element, though. It sounds like you're all juggling it in your head, which again, you've absolutely been smashing it. So great news. But you haven't got some like complex like scoring system going on in the background. It's just like you've got a gut feel. Hey, do you use any frameworks or anything or like the budget authority? No.
I used to use BANT all the time. I used to use MEDDIC. Now I don't really. We obviously work off sort of agreed alignment templates for the larger enterprises, but
Yeah.
I'm sort of doing it like a lot in my head. And I mean, we record. We know what all of our calls are saying, and we have like all of the notes from all of our calls as well. So we know where we're at with the client. Always have a next action point is something that I always have. But yeah, I'm basically managing it myself, and obviously just through a pipeline that our CRM has.
Nice. You're almost wiping out a whole industry of sales trading and stuff. Like it's not that hard to learn. Just be yourself and get a next action point. You don't need anything else.
It's hard in the head though, mate. I'd recommend just keeping it normal. But yeah, I suppose it is. Our processes aren't that long. You're demoing, you're obviously discovering, demoing,
Yeah.
and you're either competing against competitors or you're not, and then you're
Yeah.
closed.
Damn, I should have got a question about that, or just like how you approach those. But alas, we move on. Stuck deals. Another thing I think is I've got my own opinions on this, which are probably wrong. But deals stall. You got like multiple people in the mix. I imagine again, there's more there is going to be more people involved at mid market than SMBs. Dreaded procurement is dragging. What's your go-to move to keep them alive? Paddle, snooker.
No, that is it. That is it. Go and see
Oh,
him.
really?
I go and see him. I do
Yeah.
so much in person now. As much as I can do in person now, I will do. Obviously
Right.
living in Manchester, funnily enough, I've done a lot more in-person meetings up here. But yeah, like we've been to the football, play paddle, just go out for some food or just go to their offices. But it's the best way to build that relationship and just cement that relationship. And obviously you
Right.
can have that one-to-one conversation, or you can go and see the team in the office and iron out what you need to iron out. I always recommend just go and see them. If something's dragging, I'll just get an in-person meeting in the diary. And if they say no
Yeah.
to that, you're probably not in the spot you thought you was.
Yeah, that's a good one. And what is it? Is it just that? So I was looking at some of my old emails I used to send when I was trying to start out my career, just get a foot in the door. And I was quite proud of myself because I would not say something like that now. And now I'm thinking maybe I should. It was like, hey, I'll take you for a coffee. Oh, I'll go play tennis with you. Oh, just like give me a chance to be a free intern. And like I was saying all this wild stuff. What like is it well received? Like people want to go to activities, go for lunch, go for like what? Yeah.
I think people missed it a lot with COVID.
Mm,
The first year out of COVID was just nobody wanted to
bonkers.
do it in person at all.
Really?
Yeah, everybody was still very cautious. All of the events when I was in the industry were still really, really quiet. And now if you offer going to see somebody or doing something, nobody's ever said no. They're
Yeah.
always keen to come and see you. I don't know if that's
Well,
me. I'm hoping it might be, but yeah, they are keen to.
well, yeah, you definitely must play into it. No one wants to hang out with someone that's annoying, do they? So Yeah.
I might be annoying, mate. You don't know that yet.
Well, yeah. If your pipeline slips, then we can reassess. But you seem to be doing all right. Cool. Next, and maybe I'll spin this question. The next is on marketing support. So obviously, I've started this kind of community interviewing marketers, and there's that whole marketing sales alignment piece. Marketing are frustrated because sales never do what they want them to do. Sales just go off and be cowboys, but have got like marketers. God help us. That said, well, the actual question: some love marketing support, others feel like it slows them down. One, where do you sit? But two, off the back of the last question, do they like host any events for you? Do they set stuff up, or is that all like, I don't know? Is there any?
Yeah,
So
so
it works.
we've started going to a lot more events. I've done a couple of events, and sort of the engagement's been incredible. They were
Oh,
quite
nice.
recent. In relation to marketing support, I think like our website has all of the collateral it can need. So it's all already there. In previous roles, I was working a lot closer with marketers. So at
Yeah.
Glisser, I had sort of marketers like I was having them create one-page docs for me and do all of this, and was sort of sharing all of the collateral in the world. But yeah, I mean, it's already done at Revolut. So I think just the brand, as I say, sells itself, but the marketing support always helps. So having the pages they need whenever they need them and always being on hand is always a good thing. So I think sales and marketing can work well. Just both of them stay in. One's better at one thing and one's better at the other. But when they come
All right.
together, it is a force.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, it sounds like you've got a killer marketing team at Revolut. If like everything's already there, you just need to point them in the right direction. I guess the question, because I speak to a lot of marketers, is more exactly what we said in the Glisser role. It's like, oh, what do you need? You need this one page, you use this presentation. And I guess when you're an animal like Revolut, so to speak, like such an impressive company, you've kind of almost got it figured out. But I guess it's in startup world,
Yeah.
Revolut's a bit past the startup, isn't it? I guess it involves a bit more back and forth, and I can see why friction builds.
Yeah, I think so. So in the previous role at Glisser, that was a company up to 50 headcounts. We all worked out of the London office when we was sort of going in still.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had that direct conversation with them, and I suppose when you're raising funds and budgets, etc., and you're spending money on events and the results aren't what they want them to be, it's always going to cause more friction. So I think in a startup, there's always going to have that. But there's definitely no problems with marketing where we're currently at. So
Yeah, no, fair play.
it's very much a working relationship, let's say.
Nice. So maybe I need to interview someone at Revolut in the marketing department. They're nailing it. Right. Final question came in from Nadia Davis over at Caliber Mind. Speaking of marketers, what do you think about AI personalized outreach? The good, the bad, the ugly. So there are a lot of, I don't know if you've seen this. What's that AI SDR company? But they hired Jordan Belfort, the old Wolf of Wall Street, to be in like their ads, which I don't think helps their credibility, to be fair, but it made the advert go viral. I don't want Jordan Belfort doing me for like defamation of character or anything, but yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on AI in your role? Like, do you use it or generally?
I use it. I do use it. I use it I limit my use of it, let's say. I think if you start using it and relying on it, you're just going to come away from being yourself again. So I mainly use it for sort of prospecting and finding information about companies and finding different companies and industries to go after. And you can really hone in on a target market that way because you can ask questions and they can build lists for you. So I use it a lot for prospecting more than personalized outreach, because AI and personalized, I don't think are two words that can be in the same sentence.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough.
I don't do my prospecting with it, that's for sure. But sorry, I don't do my outreach with it, but I do prospecting with it.
Right, and then once you've got all the list of people that you want to go after, and then you take all that information and then handwrite. You work a lot through LinkedIn, right? All through LinkedIn. Yeah. So then you'll manually personalize them.
Yeah, I'd be going through. So I'd build the list for the other companies, and then obviously find that company on LinkedIn, go through Sales Nav and find out who to outreach and go that way.
Does it not, just on a side, does it not get like really messy and convoluted? I imagine you've got like the CRM. Like, is it a case of, hey, you've reached out to such and such, then you mark it in the CRM? So it's like like, how do you know when you use AI if that company has been kind of, or I guess you might have AI within your internal systems. I don't know. We don't have to go into that, but it's like, it could, yeah, I don't know. I guess started this again through the lens of, hey, marketing have created these beautiful lists based on account scores. These are good hit targets. It sounds like you're doing all that work.
Yeah, no, we are.
Basically.
Yeah, so they give us the tools to succeed, but the sales system is all us. And there's not different lists
Yeah.
in there, different departments. So there's no crossover in relation to that. And obviously, if duplicates are in the system, you can't work them anyway.
Yeah. It's kind of refreshing to hear this, to be honest, because it's almost like Revolut are kind of operating like a scrappy startup, or like, what does it get it done?
Get it? Yeah. So I think what we've got never settled, dream team, get it done, think deeper, and deliver wow. They're the 5
Nice.
core.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
actually quite impressed. I remember them.
yeah, don't mind. They're on the wall behind you, aren't they? Like the thing,
It's
yeah.
literally-
It's getting the end of the day. It's like, oh, Shane, get it done. Well, no, it's quite nice because I think, and I've made this mistake before. Wow, all I've done is talk about all the mistakes I've made on this episode. But you kind of like over try and systemize things, don't you? And it sounds like if you give you all the tools, and I guess what you're saying, the marketing stick to their lane, like, hey, here the website does the heavy lifting, the brand does the heavy lifting, then doesn't necessarily you don't have to force them to work side by side necessarily, as long as they're both doing their jobs correct. So it's been quite refreshing to that.
exactly
Cool.
that. Mate.
Shane, final question. Do you have a question for our next guest? If not, you can let me know afterwards. Interviewing VPs of sales, CROs, and maybe a couple of AEs coming up at bigger companies. I don't think any marketers for the next month. Any challenge you want answered or me to pose one to them?
Can I email you it?
Yeah, of course you can, man. It's all good.
I just
Yeah.
want to ask a proper question. I don't just want to give you a bland one off the top of my head. That's all.
Yeah, all good, man. No worries. Well, Shane, thanks so much for joining.
Thank you, mate. It's been a pleasure. I will email you it as well. Don't worry. I won't forget.
All right, sound.